What up, everybody? This is Slick, chilling with Carl Madison, and we're here to discuss his latest project. I'm the producer, he's the rapper. After listening to the project, one of my first questions was, how did you come up with the concept?
Basically, I was listening to Will Smith's, I think, album, The Lost and Found, that came out in 2005. After listening to that, it was just like, I always wondered what it would sound like if he was over like a RZA track, Kanye track, something like that. So, I thought instead of them doing it, why don't I do it? So basically, just took the acapellas, did some original beats, and kind of took it from there.
So what was your thinking process going into creating the project?
Basically, I wanted something that was going to really be unique. I wanted to make sure that, it just wasn't acapellas just over just beats. I wanted to make sure that it almost sounded like he was in the studio and that it really, really mixed right, really mashed up right, really, was connected. And what I would like to hear from him and taking these great songs that everybody heard and giving it his own personality.
So you start the project off with talent versus skill intro. You got to tell how you came up with that title.
The talent versus skill was basically taking Will Smith and just kind of setting the ground for the whole project. That first track is really just like Will. Running on the treadmill, not going to be, knocked off, that whole thing. And it's that inspirational talent versus skill, and so I thought it really embodied what Will Smith was and set the tone for the whole project. So
as far as the Fresh Prince of Bel Air theme song, DJ Sidewalk, I'm assuming he's the guy scratching.
Yeah, at the end. So he's like, he's a friend of my boys. Actually, he's my boy's cousin. And what made it really crazy was he wasn't using turntables. He was using a CD DJ and actually scratching on that. So, just to see that was just amazing in itself. So,
he did it all in one take?
Yeah. It was amazing. And then, of course, after that, he just kept going and going. So,
okay.
Good stuff.
So then the Men in Black Grocery Bully remix, what was your thinking behind that particular track?
It was, I wanted to kind of do something that was a little more brighter, and it was just, it has a brighter sound to it, but it also embodies the Men in Black commentary from the movie. So it adds this brightness to it, but the commentary makes it really, really hip hop. So it's just a standard song. It's not an album filler, but it's still, fly enough, to put on.
And the fact that you added interludes in the project over, some nice tracks, was that the kind of smooth bridge the gap between certain songs?
Yeah, it was just about really developing the flow. You go from talent versus skill, you go into the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, then you go into the next song, and then you're setting up these interludes to helps the flow, the whole project.
So now with Bad Boys for Life, you already had that in mind to use as an interlude?
I wanted something that was real gritty, that would just help with the feel and the theme of the project. And then, it's actually, Will Smith on there cussing, so usually he doesn't cuss in his songs. So now it's just the banter between him and, Martin Lawrence, it's crazy. So I thought it was just good, a nice little interlude to go into the next song with.
And the Wild Wild West Overbrook High remix. I know Stevie is the main sampler in that particular song, but you thought you could make it better, or not better, but make it different, but still keep Stevie in there?
It was more so about giving it its own identity. I heard what was done with Stevie, and I liked that, but it was about giving it a more grittier tone. So, once I was able to put the music to it and really have, Will's vocals sit in there, then it was just I think I wanted to add someone else, so I added that whole Snoop verse, that acapella in there. And because it's the Wild Wild West, it's Snoop, you know, West Philly, that whole thing. So just trying to capture all that in one song.
So tell me about the fundamentals of funk interlude.
Oh yeah, that I did a whole lot of research with, you know, listening to a lot of funk, and one of the things I came across was the guy George Nelson, and just listening to him talk about funk and the evolution of funk, and just the research in itself. So it helped me create like an interlude. So the interlude that I created, it was just, it sets up the pace for the next song, for the, you know, the getting jiggy with it or getting funky with it. So yeah.
And that leads right into Getting Funky With It, the Uptown Theater remix.
Yeah.
So what was your thinking behind that particular song?
Well, with that song, it was just, I think after I did the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, I knew, like, it just came to me, all right, you know, getting funky with it. So it's just like, all right, well, how can I really capture that? So it's just, you know, the feel of it, that funk, that hitting on the one, it has a certain swing to it. So, and then, you know, with the title, it was just actually giving props to the theater that's on Broad Street, you know, with James Brown and all these other artists coming through. It was just perfect, you know.
So to piggyback off the house track you did, I was really impressed with how you basically made it sound like a house song. So did you make that particular for the house crowd?
Yeah, everything that I did was basically to show my range as a producer. It was just, you know, you have hip hop, but you also got funk, but now you got this house track. And it was just to give a different flavor, you know, and just to, you know, show my skill.
And that leads me to the last song, which is probably their biggest hit, Summertime. And you call it For the Darkness, Carl Madison, Schuylkill River mashup.
Yeah.
So what was on your mind? Even like, all right, I think I can do something with Summertime.
I think for me it was just, well, first of all, I didn't really want to touch it. You know, I just had the 5 songs and that was it. And then, you know, talking to, you know, some of my colleagues, and it's just like, yo, you know, go ahead, you know, try out Summertime. But it was just, it's such a classic that I didn't really want to touch it. And so I had to really sit with it, and then it's just, I came up with this mashup. And it's something that I thought, you know, me as a fan, as a listener, would appreciate. And, you know, I'm just hoping that, you know, the fan base too, you know, enjoys the project also.
So how can the fans get a taste of the project?
They can go over to Bandcamp, and that's where you can download it for free.
So overall, hopefully you accomplish what you want with this project. I think it'll be well received, especially for like the Will and Jeff fans. Would you have anything in closing you want to add?
Nothing that I can think of. It's just basically that, you know, just trying to create something that's timeless and that the fans will appreciate.